Mark, 4 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 3 minutes until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Mark, 3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 336-464-1806. Mark, 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Stations, we're coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, mark. 1 minute stations, 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Coming up on 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds, stations. Have fun.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Rice Sports Network. On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield, live from Acme Oyster House. Welcome to the Mike Bloomgren Show. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood. The Mike Bloomgren Show is brought to you by The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 716, lighting up Rice University and Houston for over 100 years. Now, alongside Coach Bloomgren, here's the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes. Welcome back here. The Mike Bloomgren Show live from Acme Oyster House, 1201 Westheimer. It is world-famous New Orleans po' boys. Got the char-grilled oysters, all the good stuff. We came from a land of some good seafood this past weekend, but this is much, much better. The folks at Acme have us taken care of here. Our fine host every Monday of a game week, 7 until 8 p.m. Catch us on the Rice House Game Day app, the Varsity Network app, ricehouse.com, and we're also streaming this one live and inside the high table here, the view on the Owls Facebook and YouTube pages as well. We have a big show tonight. We stick with the defensive theme. We have defensive line coach Cedric Calhoun is making his grand entrance just now. One of his good young pupils, the former star powerlifter at Needville, played a little baseball. Oh, yeah, he can play some football too. Blake Banish. You ready? All right, I know you are. You ready for this? 8 was your kind of on-deck circle. And then this is you're up in the big time now as far as interviews, I say in jest. And then we also have the Owls' leading tackler, the pride of Atascocita, the great Myron Morrison, who careered this past Saturday, a monster game. 15 tackles for the Owls. They fell in that tough one, 17-14. But the Owls coming back next against Louisiana Tech at 2 o'clock coming up here from the cozy hamlet of Ruston, Louisiana. Owls trying to break a 5-game losing streak there. But we'll be on air at 1:30. Houston Methodist pregame. You catch that again, the aforementioned places, that YouTube, Facebook feed as well. Mention who is on the show tonight, but can't thank Acme Oyster House enough for all that they have done. We're right here, right near the intersection of Westheimer and Montrose. Here's the Red Beans and Rice University. Acme Oyster House, a proud sponsor of Rice football. After the game, you can come join us for a fried seafood platter, shrimp po' boy, a dozen char-grilled oysters. Acme, the best little oyster house in Texas. Walter's got his salad. He's doing well. I inhaled some meat pies. Rick Mello, not to creep you out, I was looking over your shoulder. You had some nice grilled shrimp there. So you can't go wrong here. I'm going with the Boom Boom Shrimp tacos myself here. That is automatic here on a Monday night of a game week here. We'll get back here to the football side of things. Coming up next, we'll have Dunleavy family head football coach Mike Bloomer. We come back at Acme Oyster House here. More of the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Hey, Oscar, wake up. Hi, this is Otis and Oscar, the Talking Spokes Oysters for Acme Oyster House. You've probably seen us on TV. My friend Oscar is sleeping. You know, we oysters like our pets. Anyway, drop by tonight for a dozen raw, a dozen char-grilled, a seafood platter or po' boy, and maybe a few laughs. Come Acme, bro. Not you. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood.
Build it, price it, own it. Shoppers and John Deere makes it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to get the John Deere tractor of your dreams. Number 1, go to shoppers at sfstractor.com. Select the John Deere tractor you want, add the attachments you need. Number 2, select your terms. See the price along with monthly payment, apply for financing. Number 3, buy your John Deere tractor from Shoppers, and Shoppers will deliver it for free. Shoppers makes it that easy to purchase your John Deere tractor. Build it, price it, own it. Only at Shoppers. All things John Deere.
We interrupt your top 40 hits to issue this alert from the Carbach Brewing Company. In our efforts to brew our distinct and popular Hopadillo IPA, we have unwittingly created a monster with an insatiable thirst, a monster that will not stop until it gets what it wants, an ice-cold Hopadillo IPA, just like the one I'm holding in my hand. Bold, flavorful, dry-hopped, irresistible. Hopadillo. Find it before it finds you. Bravely brewed in Texas by the Carbach Brewing Company.
Owls fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. So whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit any of our 40-plus Houston area locations or thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Rice University Athletics.
Highlighting the Owls on the gridiron. Welcome back to the Mike Bloomgren Show.
Yes, indeed. You heard the man back here, the Mike Bloomgren Show here at Acme Oyster House. crazy how we're about the halfway point of the season, and these shows winding down here now with Dunleavy Family Head Football Coach for Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren. Coach, how we doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Yeah, good. All things considered, what's the mood, temperature, so to speak, of the room now? Practice looked, from my kind of layman's view, looked pretty good. Beautiful weather out there today, but how are you all sitting with things now?
Yeah, you know what? Like, everybody's disappointed. There's no sugarcoating that. There's no anything. We're all in this to win, and gosh, everybody's working really hard to do that. And we didn't get it done the other day. And you know, it's a little bit of a different conversation with each side of the ball, right? Like, special teams is doing a good job. They're helping the team. Defensively, they played good enough to win, and that's the hard thing. Like, we have to all understand that there's still more we can do no matter what side of the ball we're on, and we've got to work to improve. And you know, the job of a defense is to shut them out, to not let them score ever, and the job of an offense is to score every drive. And right now, we're doing a good enough job to win defensively. We're fighting the fight, and gosh, I'm just so proud of the way our defense played, not just in the first half. We really challenged the whole team to start fast. We did that. We're up 14-0 in the first quarter. You feel great about things, but the way the defense finished the game, I'm really proud of. You know, hey, they got us the ball back twice, got 2 opportunities for the offense to go back out there, and that's good stuff. That's winning football. And unfortunately, offensively, we weren't able to get it done. And, hey, man, that's why you play the game, but we sure got to work to make sure that doesn't happen again.
You mentioned the fast start. Roz and Bradley Rosner, like we're first name best buds or something. But TJ McMahon, 78-yard hookup, career-long throw, and connection all the way around for Rosner, too. Then Ari Broussard gets a touchdown. So you mentioned starting fast, but what was the difference? They didn't come back all at once, but they got to score the second, the third, and the fourth, but you still had the chance in the end. What do you think made the difference in the end?
The difference was simply execution. And, you know, like I talk about it all the time, like defensive football is a destructive force, if you will. You know, it can be a hurricane. You can have Myron blitz a gap. You can have Blake Banish eat an offensive lineman and tackle the ball carrier or the quarterback, and the play's a success. The other 10 defensive players could fall down on that particular play, right? On offense, you really need all 11 pieces working together, and I think of it more of as a constructive process, if you will, where you need all those pieces. And what happened the other night as we went back and watched the film is everybody kind of took a turn not doing their job, not doing their 111th. It wasn't like it was the same person every time. It's not like it was people falling down all over the place. It was one person not getting their job done to our standard. And that's what caused drives to die. And then obviously, like, TJ wishes he had played better. We all wish he had played better. And that's why that position gets so much credit and so much blame in the sport of football, because it is the hardest position to play in all of sports, period. And we just encouraged TJ today, hey, man, we all got your back, man. We all believe in you. We trust you. Let's go forward. And I was really glad to see him have a good practice today. I thought that was good for him and our team to see.
The big highlight on the offensive side was that monster game from Bradley Rosner. 4 catches, 135 yards, and that career-high 78-yarder. Just what a season it's been outside of the USC one, where he even said, hey, I needed that one to kind of dust off the cobwebs. But since then, he has been at this level and even beyond up there with the higher echelon of receivers in the game.
He is. I think Roz is playing really good football, and there's still more for Roz to do to help this team. And that's the cool thing, because he's no different than anybody else on offense. There was a play down their sideline late in the fourth quarter where, you know, TJ throws a great ball and Bradley lets the ball come down and the DB makes a great play. Whereas if Bradley Rosner goes up and attacks the ball at the highest point, I know Bradley Rosner is going to make that play. And that's where we've got to get him to make just one more play. Like, when things aren't going good for the quarterback in particular, everybody else needs to tighten up, and everybody else needs to find a way to make that play to get this thing going and take a little bit of the pressure off the cue. And that's what I didn't feel we were able to do. So, again, I really attribute this to everybody on offense. We all got to do better from 1 to 11 on that particular play on the field.
Ari Broussard, still top 10 in the nation's rushing touchdowns. Now, he's the first Rice running back since 1986, Coach. We were wee young ones back
yes,
then. The last time a Rice running back has had a rush in 6 straight games. Talk about Ari, how inside the 20 just has that nose that he's like a magnet for that goal line, isn't he?
Yeah, and I was really proud of Ari because, you know, we come out, we get the ball after the PI call, and so we get the ball first and goal on the 2. And the first play we run is a goal line play, and they kind of overloaded us at the point of attack and jumped over the line and made a good play. And so, you know what, we changed personnel groupings. We gave the ball back to Ari, and he ends up scoring a 3-yard touchdown, which, as you've told me before, is just tied for his longest on the year right now. So, but still glad that Ari's nose for the end zone, and some people gave him some good blocks, and he found a way to run through a tackle to get in there. That was cool.
On the defensive side, one of our highlighted players here had a great game, Myron Morrison. No surprise because he's had other good games, but 15 tackles in that most since our guy Emmanuel Ellerby had 17 against Southern Miss 5 years ago. So speak to Myron, not just that game, but how he's really continuing to improve.
Yeah, I was going to say that. The growth that he's had from one year to the next, it has just been phenomenal. Like, I thought he really got comfortable with the position some last year. I think the spring and the ability to spend some time this offseason, it's really like the first offseason I feel like Myron's had in the program for one reason or another, whether it's illness or what have you. And it's just great to have him back and comfortable and continuing to grow. And the confidence that Coach Smith has in him is really fun to see. And then to see him have a performance like that, 15 tackles, like wrap your mind around 15 tackles. That's phenomenal.
And on the defensive front, too, we got Cedric Calhoun here tonight. Just how that, you could go down the long list of guys on there that have had good seasons, but like Vanish is up there, too. So kind of lump him in there, how that D-line continues to almost single-handedly won that game again.
Yeah, you know what? The D-line is just a bunch of guys that are battling, and I think Myron would tell you that too. Like, that's a big part of what allows Myron to do what he's doing right now is the way those guys are battling up front. And what we had to do the other night because of the tempo and because of the time the defense was on the field, Coach Calhoun had to shuttle those guys in and out. Like, they were like a shift change in hockey. Like, every time the ball was going out of bounds, it was a new 3 or 4 running in, and those guys were getting their cleats set, and they were impacting the game. And right now, like, I don't know who in the world wants to block Blake Vanish. Like, that dude, when he's coming off the ball with his pad level, the violence he's playing with, I'm really pleased with Blake. You know, I really am. I think that there's a couple of those guys inside that are doing some phenomenal things. And then to talk about the edges, to talk about what KK and Josh Piercy are doing, like, all those guys are affecting the game, play in and play out. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for me to watch. I love watching them play. I love the effort they're playing with. I love the physicality they're playing with. And then one guy that we don't talk about much until game day, I feel like, is Trey Schumann, Captain Trey Schumann. And nobody knows this, but he wasn't able to practice all last week. He was a little banged up. And so then we test him out on game day, and he's able to go. And I can just think of play after play where I'm watching him, like, chase down N'Kosi Perry on a pass play, or the one he kept down our sideline where he lays out and gets his ankle, like, just big-time football plays. And Chuck actually gave me this stat today. I believe it's 1 every 5 passes that Trey's in the game for, he has had a pressure on the quarterback. 1 out of every 5. I mean, that's phenomenal. I think it was 14 out of 70-something passes.
Yeah, 14 out of 71. Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, you talk about affecting the game and to be able to do that, and Coach Calhoun meeting with him individually and making sure he's up to speed. I'm just really pleased with how that D-line room's coming, the growth of it, the way it affects the game. And, again, like, those guys are lighting up the passer. Like, you don't really want to play quarterback against the Rice Owls right now. You don't want to play running back against the Rice Owls. So that's a lot of fun to see.
How about on the special team side of things? Sean Fresh had that big punt return late in that game. I forget the exact number mark of it, but he leads Conference USA in punt return average now, and that really long one wasn't even close to being his season long, which he had, or a career long. But just speak to Sean and just how the special teams are progressing, or what you've seen from special teams recently.
Yeah, I think my message to you every time we talk about it was special teams are special right now. Kicks are going through the pipes. Timmy Horn's kicking it out of the back of the end zone almost every time that he kicks off. Sean is dynamic with the return. You think about even the kickoff returns, they didn't seem like much in the game, but because they kicked 2 out of bounds and Jim had the wherewithal to put his foot on the boundary and make sure it was a penalty. Like, we started with an average field position at the 30-yard line after kickoffs, and that was really good. And the punt return, like, what Sean's doing, Sean is dangerous back there. And I keep challenging Sean. Like, today after practice, he was talking to Coach Tui. He's like, I'm going to set y'all up again. I'm going to get you another one. And I was like, how about you just take it back to the crib? Like, it has been since, 1997 or something since Rice has returned a punt for a touchdown. Like, that's the next step for Sean Fresh. Like, when we get one blocked well, he's going to take one to the house, and we're all going to have a great time celebrating.
That's why we have the board here, Coach. Ladolphus McCalla. I know that because he was a Lufkin legend. But 1997.
Hey, there we go. Rice history.
Yeah.
You don't want to play me in Rice history right now.
But that dynamic to be I don't know if I asked Sean this when he was here, but it's such a different dynamic being a punt returner than a kick returner. Explain what he does so well to make him so good at that specific niche there.
Yeah, so you got to just put yourself in the returner's mindset. Like you're trying to catch a oblong object that's coming out of the sky and is wobbling in a different manner. You got to do such a great job being disciplined with your elbows together and look that thing in and catch it. But, while you're doing that, there's like 3 or 4 people that are like aiming for your head while you're trying to do that. And so literally, if you're not fair catching it, you're making the decision, I'm going to be able to take this and make one move if I've got a returner coming at me. One lateral move, run the J course, and or the Nike swooshes, we talk about it, and get vertical. And then you got to go find blocks. But making the first guy miss, that is the skill. The courage to catch it, the discipline to keep everything tucked, and then making that first guy miss is what makes a great punt returner. If you can average a first down, if you can average 10 yards every punt return you have, you're really cooking with gas.
Mm-hmm. And for him to do so much better, it's amazing. But we'll talk more specifically La Tech in a second with what Coach Cumbie has done. But just going on the road again, even though you had the close setback, there are no moral victories, as you say, and I totally believe, but just getting a chance to get that road monkey off your back, how big is that coming up?
Yeah, I actually look back and I wonder if I talked about it too much last week. But it is still the trick we have to do. We have to win on the road. If we're going to be the team we want to be, we've got to go to La Tech this weekend, and we've got to put the blinders on and worry about just what's before us, just like a horse does in horse racing. Put the blinders on, focus on what's important, win our matchups, and win this dadgum game, and then come back home and get ready for the next one. But that is the challenge in front of us right now. There's no planes. There's just a bus going up to Louisiana. It's easy. And then we'll get a chance to play there in front of their crowd this weekend.
Cruising up to those piney woods over to Shreveport and then on to cozy hamlet of Ruston. Thanks, Coach. We'll talk to you again.
Yes, sir.
Dunleavy family of football coach for Hawaii Sal's Mike Bloomgren. More coming up. We preview those Bulldogs with him. Coming up next, though, we go on the defensive side of things with the aforementioned Myron Morrison, the former Tascasita Eagle star, joining us here at the high table back at Acme Oyster House with more of the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Build it, price it, own it. Go online and see Shoppers and John Deere's new way to get a John Deere tractor just the way you want it. Google Shoppers John Deere and let your John Deere tractor story begin. Build the tractor you want with the attachments you need to get your work done. Price it, no hidden costs, and financing options available for any budget. Own it, and Shoppers will deliver your John Deere tractor. Build it, price it, own it. It's Shoppers' new way to get the John Deere tractor you want your way. Shoppers, all things John Deere.
Doubletree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites is the preferred hotel for anybody visiting the medical center, the museum district, or Rice University. We offer the largest suites in the medical center, complete with full kitchens, and our full-service restaurant and outdoor pool will make your stay complete. We look forward to having you experience the Doubletree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites soon. And if you do a group rate or 10 or more rooms, don't forget to call 713-528-7744. That's 713-528-7744.
Howdy Homemade Ice Cream is here. Howdy is an ice cream shop in Katy, Texas that makes ice cream in-house and has a unique mission to employ individuals that are differently abled. Stop by and enjoy some ice cream. With every scoop you buy, you help support employment for special needs. Coming to Rise Athletics venues in the fall.
Houston, we have a cocktail. All Hands Canned Cocktails are made with 6 times distilled crab vodka at a sturdy 10% ABV to ensure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your provisions. Now available in 6 natural flavors, including raspberry lemonade, ruby red grapefruit, cherry limeade, cranberry and vodka soda, and vodka tonic classic. Follow the adventure on Instagram at @DrinkAllHands and try these bar-strength cocktails for yourself at the next game. All Hands, damn fine cocktails. Proud sponsor of Rice Athletics.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The Parking Spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the Parking Spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
This is the Mike Bloomgren Show, live at Acme Oyster House. Here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
This broadcast interrupts Myra Morrison and my conversation about Texas high school football, but we will continue it here now. Stay tuned. Coming up in a bit, Blake Banish will have a word or two, I'm sure. And then we have Cedric Calhoun. Busy night. Appreciate you joining us. So, Myron, thanks. I was joking with you beforehand. A few more folks than our last chat in the Rice video room last year when we couldn't have these, but a few more folks here, huh?
Right, definitely an upgrade.
How's the grub? Grub treating you okay?
Great.
Yeah.
I just ordered the oysters, got some etouffee to go. So.
Oh, look at you. And a good tie-in there is you have the Louisiana ties. You're born in Baton Rouge. Your dad played football at Southern, right?
Right.
I read that correctly, but you've got such an interesting background. How you're Houston proud, but you've been well traveled. Give us that kind of not family history, so to speak, but just how you ended where you're born to where you are sitting here now, so to speak.
Right. So I was born in Baton Rouge. Spent 2 years in Baton Rouge. Moved to the Washington D.C. area through my parents working with ExxonMobil oil and gas, and I moved to Houston for the first time in 2008. Lived there for 3 years before I moved to Canada in 2011. So right over the border from Michigan, did everything in Michigan, haircut, church, groceries, got gas, because it was $5 a gallon for gas in Canada. So this is like 2011 to 2014.
You talked to your dad about that.
Right. And then we've been in Houston since 2014.
Okay. But so up in Canada, I don't detect the Canadian accent, you know. You didn't start watching hockey or anything, you know?
I might have been a little resistant. We just got a Tim Hortons. That's the pride of Canada. So we just got a Tim Hortons here in Katy. So that's something that I'm looking forward to shooting out there.
Yeah, I've never had it, but I hear everyone up north just swears by that stuff too. You have a go-to meal there or a drink?
You can't go wrong with the Timbits. It's different from any donut holes you'll have. Dunkin' Donuts, anything.
All right, you're the second person to tell me that, so I'll definitely, next time I'm through there, I'll get that. So discuss the monster game. I know you'll be modest and want to blush a little bit, but 15 tackles, obviously you were doing a lot right, and it ties with Blake and the line too, like Coach was saying, but just what led to that great performance?
Right, I mean, preparation, watching film, but honestly, being able to play behind guys like Blake, DeBraylon Carroll, Josh Piercy, they make the job easier for me. They make things open up for me. Trusting Chris Conte next to me, trusting my leverage when we're spilling blocks to each other. That's what honestly makes a great game like that.
How's it been working with Chris now? I think I might have asked you this too when you were on the podium, but that's not an easy chemistry to develop when he comes in from Rutgers and you've been progressing too. Discuss working with him, what you've liked.
Every week I feel like our chemistry just grows better and better. His knowledge of the playbook is just continuing to grow at a rapid pace, coming in 1 year and being able to play as many snaps starting as he has. I'm truly impressed and grateful to play next to him, knowing that I can trust the guy next to me in every snap.
So local product, we mentioned Atascocita, and you talked about your winding path coming to Rice. Was that an easy decision to stay home, or did you have some inkling like, hey, I've been around the block a few times. I'm comfortable across the country and across the border. What was that decision like?
Coach Bloom can attest to this, but I received my offer to Rice at around 11 of that day on my official visit. And I got in the car, and about 45 minutes later, I called Coach Smith back and committed.
Okay.
So it was a pretty easy decision being from Houston.
So you could barely watch an episode of your favorite Netflix or whatever streaming service show, but you just knew. What struck a chord so much that you just knew?
Being in Houston, I've known the value and the weight of Rice for years. So getting that opportunity presented in front of me, I just knew it was something I couldn't let go by.
And you like that, hey, you're close enough to home, but also Atascocita is not right next door. So when you want to ask mom to do some laundry or something like that, you could maybe, but you don't have to go home every weekend, right?
Exactly. Have the independence when I need it, but definitely within arm's reach when I need to get back.
So sport management student, what have you liked about that? And what do you want to do after the playing days? Or hopefully a long time from now, but what do you like about that?
The biggest thing that I've gotten from our sport management department is just the level of professionalism that Tom Stallings has been able to instill in us, and that really transferred into things that I've done in healthcare administration. So my minor is in medical humanities. This summer I did a full-time internship working 40-hour weeks with Memorial Hermann in administration. And a lot of things that I picked up in practical classes with Tom Stallings applied directly, whether it was creating presentations for vice presidents in the company. Things like that came more natural just having that background here at Rice.
Wow. So you think maybe the medical side or just anything to do definitely with sports or a combination sports and medicine? Or
honestly, it was a perfect mix because I was working on the sport medicine and rehabilitation side of things in administration. So I got to speak to a lot of high school students, high school athletes at Lamar High School, and I could definitely directly relate to that population because I was in those shoes not too long ago, and they want to end up in as a D1 athlete eventually. So something that I thought was beneficial and definitely aligned to relate to.
So you mentioned that the big career high tackle game earlier, but speak to just the steady improvement that you've had. And Coach mentioned how there's been the weird off seasons, but you've overcome that and improved. So what's led to that? Obviously, growing up and maturing, that goes to it, and playing the game more the reps. But from your perspective, I'd be interested to hear that.
Just growing in confidence and alignment and assignment. So every week, I feel like I've just grown more and more into my role of knowing exactly what I need to do and knowing how to excel and make those plays that take the confidence to do it.
Who's a linebacking mentor or somebody you'd like to pattern a game after? Is it that type of position where you do that, or is there anybody you like? I don't know if you're a Texans fan or somebody you've taken a liking to.
As far as linebackers, I would say Darius Leonard. But honestly, guys that I've learned a lot from, you mentioned Emmanuel Ellerby earlier. I spent a lot of time talking with him. I've actually worked an internship with him when he played with the Spring League, and a lot of things I've got from him. I'm in constant communication with him. I talked to Blaze after the game.
Yeah.
So guys like that.
So were you always linebacker coming up and crisscrossing? You mentioned that most of your playing days were here in town, so to speak, but always a linebacker. Any other positions?
My sophomore year in high school, I was 5'10", about 180 pounds, so I was actually a DB.
Okay.
There was a situation where our linebacker couldn't play a game. He actually got in trouble for whatever reason. I can't remember. And they threw me in to start that game, and it was history from there.
Okay, so how does that work? Like, does it, I don't know, so long ago, if maybe a dumb question on my part, but does that transfer over? Like, you have some of those DB skills still in you, but inherent to that position, you still need that anyway, coached up here too.
Right, I'm definitely able to translate those deep-rooted DB skills and my dad being a DB into excelling man coverage, especially man on RB, on running backs and tight ends. So,
what's the funniest thing someone has trash talked to you during the game? Can you remember? Or maybe a teammate during a scrimmage or something.
I had a guy this game holding all down my shoulder pads, acting like he was making a great block, and still being able to get off of that while he's talking mess and his guys getting tackled. So that was pretty funny to me.
And the reason I asked that is because Nate mentioned it getting chippy down there. Is that an easy thing to brush aside, or you can't let that control you too much though? But at the same time, I talk to our coaches. No, we like that when guys get that kind of juice from that type. How do you see that?
I mean, definitely playing passionate, but once the whistle's blown, it's the next play. I'm getting the call from the sideline.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite pregame meal or something was your go-to? Or
I get the spaghetti every pregame.
Carb load?
Yes,
okay. Tell us something about Blake Banish we might not know.
Blake Banish that we might not know.
And I'll ask him the same about you. There's return fire.
So his nickname around the whole campus is Big Sexy. So that's what he goes by.
Okay. That's something I definitely didn't know. He's getting a belly laugh over there. Okay. Challenges the rest of the season. You got a talented La Tech team coming up. You're exactly halfway through. What do you see? The softball question from these just hard-hitting journalists here. What do you have to do the rest of the season here?
The first things first is getting our first road win and clicking in all cylinders at the same time. So everybody doing their job at the same time, we'll be able to come out victorious, not having, like guys, as Coach Bloom mentioned, somebody taking off a play or somebody missing their assignment once at a time, even though it's not the same person. Once everybody's clicking and doing their job at the same time, I feel like there's nobody that can stop us.
I don't know if I'm breaking news to you, but it's a homecoming game for them. Does that homecoming this last or two, does that motivate you guys at all, or is that just for silly folks like me to talk and wonder about? What do you think?
I mean, we definitely focus on what's in between the lines of the field, but knowing that somebody scheduled us as their homecoming, definitely is some extra motivation.
All right, remember that. Thank you, Martin. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Always enjoy the chats.
Thank you.
We'll have Big Sexy coming up next. And Blake Banish, too. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Stay tuned. Coming up next, more of the Mike Bloomgren Show at Acme Oyster House from Learfield.
Hey, Oscar, wake up. Hi, this is Otis and Oscar, the Talking Spokes Oysters for Acme Oyster House. You've probably seen us on TV. My friend Oscar is sleeping. You know, we oysters like our beds. Anyway, drop by tonight for a dozen raw, a dozen char grilled, a seafood platter or po' boy, and maybe a few laughs. Come Acme, bro. Not you. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood.
Doubletree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites is the preferred hotel for anybody visiting the Medical Center, the Museum District, or Rice University. We offer the largest suites in the Medical Center, complete with full kitchens, and our full-service restaurant and outdoor pool will make your stay complete. We look forward to having you experience the Doubletree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites soon. And if you need a group rate or 10 or more rooms, don't forget to call 713-528-7744. That's 713-528-7744.
Hey, it's JP here to tell you that, yes, there's more Rice Owls content out there for you to consume. Subscribe and download the official podcast of Rice Athletics, Rice Owls Insider. Rice Owls Insider provides a unique new look at a variety of head coaches, players, and other integral voices inside the Rice Athletics department. Plus, you can find archived coaches shows as well. For the best in Rice Owls content, subscribe to Rice Owls Insider, the official podcast of Rice Athletics. Available on Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
You're listening to the latest on Owls football with the head coach, Mike Bloomgren. Now, let's go back inside Acme Oyster House.
Yes. Welcome back here, Acme Oyster House, having some fun here on a Monday night. Every Monday of the game week, 7 until 8 p.m. Great food, great company, and great football talk. And there's a bit on the big screen. Walter and I were guessing about, I don't know why I'm so entrenched with this, but it's got to be about a 15-foot big screen up here. We got a little Rice reunion. Calvin Anderson starting for the Broncos at left tackle. We've got Christian Covington on the Chargers, and also Bryce Callahan out there too. So Owls doing well in more ways than one. Joined now by number 75, for one of the 75s on the Rice Owls roster. It is the one of the prides of Needville. See what I did there, Blake Banish. Blake, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Had to get your nice, big, sexy mug there on the stream there. So big, sexy, huh?
Yes, sir. That's what I go by.
So we got to get this straight, though, because I'm going to hammer this on the broadcast. Did you give yourself the nickname, or did someone else give that to you? Because it's like it's different if you give yourself the nickname.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
It definitely would not have the same meaning if I gave it to myself. But I think I picked it up. I don't remember exactly what year, but I think my head coach from high school actually gave me that nickname. And my mom ended up ordering me a shirt that had Big Sexy on it. So it's stuck with me since then. So Coach Calhoun still, I don't think he hasn't fully said it yet. He says I still have to earn that X and Y. He calls me Big Se. So I haven't earned them yet.
And when Coach Calhoun speaks, we listen. We'll see that in a few minutes, of course, for those that don't know, when he has his turn at the high table. So your play recently has been really good. Again, not gonna say you totally arrived. Like I know you've said, Nate, you still have a lot you want to improve on, but the game seems to be coming to you this year. But you've got a deep D-line unit, so kind of evaluate your own play, but playing along with a bunch of other big fellas back there too.
Yeah, like you said, this game, what I've learned from college is just a game of experience. Just being able to actually play in the game, it's a whole different level than high school. And like you said, the people above me are just great. Like I told Nate, Isaiah Floyd, and Brandon Carroll, those are my guys. Those are basically assistant coaches. And without them, they've taught me so much about the game, just where to keep my head and just important things to do and to come out and play the best I can. So I'm very thankful for them.
So what's the number one thing that surprised you adjusting to the college game?
Definitely coming from Needville, I don't want to sound like I have a big head or anything, but I was definitely one of the biggest guys out there,
Of course, yeah.
Now I come here and everybody's my same size, same competition. So just the level of competition is what's a lot different for me and what I had to get used to.
And coming from Needville, you were in 8th grade when Bradley Rosner was a senior. But when you talked to Nate, you told him that he was partly a motivation for coming here. So speak to that and why you wanted to come to Rice outside of having a fellow Blue Jay alum there.
Oh, yeah, he was huge. I mean, I was already pretty set, like, before I even came on the junior day. I got the offer and came on the junior day, and I saw the facilities. I loved it. And like I said, I didn't really know him, so I finally got the chance to talk to him on the sideline. And he told me, he's like, man, I love it here. Like, and I tell you, you're going to love it. So, I mean, that really, like, pushed me over the edge. It was like, all right, this is a good place for me. So, I feel like that's the influence he had on me. So
you're telling me you have the nerve, you have the gall, Blake. You call him Grandpa.
I do.
Come on, man.
Grandpa.
It's not cool.
I mean, he thinks it's funny sometimes. I mean, he's not appreciating me spreading it out like this to y'all, but I don't really care. But Grandpa, Mr. Rosner, so
yeah, exactly. Said it in love, Uncle Roz. Maybe we can settle on that. So you power lifted, did really well. We'd be here a while, reading all of the accolades. Obviously, that suits your position type. I know Isaiah was a state champ or state runner-up in power lift, right? So. But you played baseball too, so I wanted to hit on that. What were you, first base, catcher? Didn't want to stereotype you.
Well, my senior year I was mainly a DH. I was a big power hitter, but growing up I played a lot of first and third. I pitched every now and then. I was kind of wild, so I wasn't a very good pitcher, but do the ball hard. But mostly my best strong suit was definitely hitting.
Okay, so probably not going to see you out there with Coach Cruz and company sticking to football.
Unless they need a big home run hitter. I mean, they can call me up, but I'll stick to football.
Did powerlifting come before football, or did football lead into powerlifting with the obvious segues pretty strong?
Football definitely came first. I mean, I was looking for a way to get stronger, and our powerlifting coach was also like our O-line and D-line coaches that we had. So they encouraged me to do it. So I tried it out, and then I noticed my strength increased rapidly doing that. So and I realized that it affected my football play. So that I used that as a main way to get stronger.
Mm-hmm. So you're a redshirt freshman, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I know you don't want to brag on yourself, but you really got yourself into shape the last 2 off seasons. What did you? I know it's obviously a lot with Coach Straub there, but what was that motivation, and what do you do to try to get to the slimmer, big sexy we see here before us now?
Yeah, like you said, Coach Straub had a lot of influence on that, and I mean, I went home for the winter break, and I really looked myself in the mirror. I was like, man, this isn't where I want to be. Like I want to help out. I want to win games, and went to work and kept my head down. Still keeping my head down and just getting better every day. And so that was my motivation, just to better myself and make my family proud. So.
And knowing Coach Straub, all about that diet, right? Eating the right things at the right time.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you last time I had fast food. So that touffet is probably the least healthy I've ate in a while. So
we won't tell him though.
Please don't.
Yeah. So discuss, like I asked with Myron, the rest of the season. Exactly, you've had as many games behind you as that are in front of you for the regular season. Hopefully, some more beyond that. But just what you need to do here, and you're in the locker room. We don't want to know everything, but just what you have to do here the rest of the season here to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the rest of the season is pretty bright. We just treat every game as its own battle, and just learn from each mistakes and the good times. So just take it week by week and see how everything goes. Come out, play the best we can, and that's all we can do.
What's your favorite sports movie? Could also be your favorite movie, but
I was talking about this. I would say maybe Remember the Titans or The Blind Side.
Yeah, it's good.
Pretty good ones.
The Blind Side has the lineman theme, like on the other side of the ball.
It does. That's why I related to that one. So that's definitely my top 2.
Do you have a favorite non-football movie? Could be drama, Terms of Endearment.
I really like the new Top Gun.
Okay. No. That was really good, wasn't it?
It was really good. I think I've seen it like 2 or 3 times already. So.
Yeah. Did you ever see the original?
I did. I watched that one a lot too.
All right, respect it. Much respect. Favorite pregame meal? You stealing off Myron's spaghetti plate, or what do you like?
See, I've never really been a big spaghetti eater, but I eat the spaghetti. I usually get 3 chicken breasts. That's what I've done every game. Either that and some potatoes. Coach Calhoun likes it. I usually get a salad, put some cheese on it, But that's probably mine.
Okay. What do you want to do after football? Again, hopefully the playing days are long from now. You're still a young pup here around campus, but what's intrigued you about on the Rice education side, and what would you like to do?
Yeah, like you said, my playing days are hopefully nowhere near over. I mean, it's my ultimate goal to ultimately make the NFL, play in the NFL. But, if that dream doesn't work out, I've always been set on, my mind's been set on being a coach, like helping other kids and younger kids grow and be better than themselves and just enjoy this lovely game of football.
So you obviously had a coaching inspiration. Was it your high school coach? Tell us who a coaching mentor was.
My D-line coach from high school was a big mentor in that. He helped me learn a lot. Coach Calhoun has helped me learn a lot. Very thankful for those two guys. And without them, they changed my life. So, I want to have that same impact on young kids too.
All right. Hey, thanks. I don't think this will be the last time that we talk, and I appreciate it. Go shout out on your etouffee.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we won't tell Hans, okay?
Yeah,
appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
Blake
sir.
Banish, Big Sexy, and Blake Banish here joining us here at the high table. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have Cedric Calhoun joining us here. This is the Mike Bloomgren Show back at Acme Oyster House. More coming up. It's the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Build it, price it, own it. Shoppers and John Deere makes it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to get the John Deere tractor of your dreams. Number 1, go to shoppers at sfstractor.com. Select the John Deere tractor you want, add the attachments you need. Number 2, select your terms, see the price along with monthly payments, and apply for financing. Number 3, buy your John Deere tractor from Shoppers, and Shoppers will deliver it for free. Shoppers makes it that easy to purchase your John Deere tractor. Build it, price it, own it. Only at Shoppers. All things John Deere.
Houston, we have a cocktail. All Hands Canned Cocktails are made with 6 times distilled craft vodka at a sturdy 10% ABV to ensure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your provisions. Now available in 6 natural flavors, including raspberry lemonade, ruby red grapefruit, cherry limeade, cranberry and vodka soda, and vodka tonic classic. Follow the adventure on Instagram at @DrinkAllHands and try these bar-strength cocktails for yourself for the next game. All Hands, damn fine cocktails. Proud sponsor of Rice Athletics.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the parking spot. The parking spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
We interrupt your top 40 hits to issue this alert from the Karbach Brewing Company. In our efforts to brew our distinct and popular Hopadillo IPA, we have unwittingly created a monster. A monster with an insatiable thirst. A monster that will not stop until it gets what it wants. An ice-cold Hopadillo IPA. Just like the one I'm holding in my hand. Bold, flavorful, dry-hopped, irresistible, sweet, berry. Hopadillo. Find it before it finds you. Bravely brewed in Texas by the Karbach Brewing Company.
Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Oh, hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com for Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
Highlighting the Owls on the gridiron. Welcome back to the Mike Bloomgren Show.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back here to the Mike Bloomgren Show. Coach comes back. Clap, clap, clap. We previewed the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs and Coach Cumby's very talented team coming up next segment. But now we have one of my favorites, if not my favorite, Cedric Calhoun joining us now at the high table. How are you doing, boss?
Doing great. Thank you for having me. Excited.
Yeah, always excited. First things first, most importantly, you have a special cheering section with your daughters here. Let's give them some love here.
Absolutely. Shada and Deja, I love you guys.
Yeah.
Those are my babies.
Yeah. Did they play sports?
Shada played basketball. Deja tried to play basketball. She did, but Deja was a dancer. She likes dancing. So
that's great.
When they were younger.
How was Dad as a coach back then playing basketball? Just a little. Okay, so it didn't.
Yeah, I got girls. They made me soft.
Yeah,
it's all good.
That's a good balance, though,
yeah,
right?
It's a great balance. I love them.
First things first. Talk about this season and how this is a wooden table under this cloth. Things are progressing nicely on the defensive line, and you're not going to want to take a lot of that credit. But obviously, the guys have grown. It's been a long process with that. What have you seen? Because you've got this unique concept to not get them thinking too highly of themselves, but still you praise them and love them in a unique way.
Yeah, we just playing D-line is like every day. It's like a battle, right? Preparation, your mental aspect. Guys' fingers get banged up, their shoulders, their ankles, their hips. Growing. So you have to have that fine balance and. With the room that we have right now, with the depth, just with Blake being here as a redshirt freshman to come in and step and help out with the guys inside, because that was like that was a concern, beginning of the season. Iz was the only one, Isaiah Floyd was the only one that was playing. EG's gone with the Rams, so the Braylon's coming off his Achilles. Then we had to go get a grad transfer, right? So we get Quint here and. It's like Blake, you got El Royal, you got Jalen Hargrove, you got Caleb James, then you get Davion Carter, you got some bodies, but guys really haven't played, But Blake, I remember talking to Blake after the season. He was out hunting with his dad, and we talked. And man, I was giving him the business, man, you out there, blah blah blah. I said, put me on speaker for me talk to your dad. And man, the kid's worked his tail off, and I'm so proud of him. He's dropped his weight. His eyes are bright. He comes in happy. He's a great personality. Like when he came in on his unofficial visit with El Royal, his personality was just, you could just tell he's just a good young kid, just looking for the next opportunity, right? So, he's done great. He has a lot of work to do, but I'm very, very excited about where he is today. And then with the Braylon back and, Iz and Quint's done well, and we still got some guys under them that can play any time. You can move Kenna from the end to the 3, which we may have to do, which is fine, because the whole thing with the whole group, you want to increase their position flexibility, playing in tackle, nose, rush. The rush is JP and KK kind of like their own entity, but KK can play the end, with Trey. How Trey is, then we got Damone Green, right? And they just got a bunch of young guys, Van Heitman. Van Heitman can play the end, rush, and he plays the tackle. So the guys have just really bought in, and they're fun to coach.
Let's talk a little about Ikena Ichuku, who we had up here a few weeks ago. Okay. He goes up there with, as far as Rice he's just way up there for what he's doing, and he'll be playing this game a long time. Discuss his maturation, because you've seen this the whole way with Ikena, and he'll be playing on that TV here soon.
Absolutely. So I was in Kansas City last week, right? I love Kansas City. Of course, that's where Kenna's from. And I went by his high school for the first time, because when I came in from Nashville, Coach Bloom was like, get his transcripts. I'm like, okay. So I'm calling the school like 3 or 4 times, and I'm talking to certain people, but I can't get his transcript. So when I'm in Kansas City last week, I go by his high school just to see where he came from. And I'm sitting there like, wow, this is where he came from. From where he came from, Ruskin High School, his development, his size, his maturation mentally and physically is unbelievable. But, kids put in work. You put in work, you're coachable. The kid got his undergrad, starting his master's. He's just a phenomenal man. When the scouts come by, they try to say, well, what's he like? I say, he's a Nigerian man. He is traditional Nigerian man, and he's so focused, and he compartmentalizes everything from his academics to his academics to his athleticism, to his to the athletics and the social life. He's a pro. We talk about being a pro. Even with EG and Miles, man, you guys want this opportunity, you got to be a pro, be on time, taking, heavy notes, walkthroughs, film study. How do you watch film? How does how the parts up front, the first level and the second level and the third level, we even talk about coverages in our room, flat, curl, hook read. We talk about all that because in our defense, those guys may have to drop. JP and KK drop all the time, but we have stuff where, Blake is a spy or he might have to take the back. We can do all kind of stuff, and that's where Brian has done a great job with our defense, just how we just implement different concepts, and just, build up their IQ. But Ikenna Inichukwu is a great ambassador for our university and our football team.
And how about Josh Piercy, leads Conference USA in sacks, and more specifically to the UAB game where he has 2 sacks in the final 3 plays.
Yeah.
Just one of the more impressive sequences at the end of any type of sporting event. But just speak to not just Josh Piercy, but you mentioned Quint Titt too, how I talked to him today. You told me before the season about Quint. Oh, he's ready.
Yeah.
And Quint has been ready. He's got the most snaps of your interior guys.
Yeah, Quint comes in, and, when you bring him in, that's one thing with the grad transfer, bringing the guy into this group. Brian and myself, we had him come down like 3 or 4 times just to see how he blended with the boys, because those boys are like really, really tight, right? Like they know what each other, they probably know Blake, probably knows what, like, DeBraylon doing right now. And you don't have to see him, right? So Quint comes down, and I'm just sitting here watching him, and we talk about fronts, and we have a certain front he calls green. Well, we have the green front at Abilene. We have like 3 or 4 different names of that. So I'm sitting there like, okay. Well, he got some concepts. But like Quint's came in and done phenomenal, and going to JP. JP's, he's worked his way into the starting role. You can flip a coin and go KK or JP, but JP has more, more experience at the second level where he has to drop and all that. But toward the end of the game versus UAB, by the way, y'all, you're like commentating towards the end was like awesome.
Thank you.
And then, come in there and Trey sets him up, boom. He humps him, Reggie White gets the sack, and then JP comes off the corner and causes a strip fumble. And then, like, the last play, because I would tell him, don't think, he comes in the last play. It was like a chopper spin inside out, like, Robert Mathis. I'm sitting here like, what the hell? And boom, and the game's over. We rush the field, and he's so tired, and he's just like this, just jumping. I mean, it was a great finish for our team, and it was great for the kid to have that success for his first team.
All right, lastly, I asked both of them before about their mentors. A guy that you're pretty close with is the great Wade Phillips, who has been through every nook and cranny, Southeast Texas, NFL, college, all the likes, and discuss your love of him and just how he's influenced you over the years coaching-wise.
So when I was at Alabama A&M, back then, the timing was with the minority fellowship program. I go to San Diego, my hometown. I'm like, what? I could get a chance to do the mentorship, the fellowship. So Wayne Nunley, rest in peace. And then Wade Phillips is out there with Marty Schottenheimer. And then, Wade and Brian Stewart, who was the defensive coordinator before, he was out there. I know him through like, Derek Mason. And then, me and Wade would just always talked. Wade was like, he was like an encyclopedia, I remember seeing his dad, Bun Phillips, and I'm saying like, oh snap, this is Wade Phillips. And so this is what happened too also. We were in training camp, and Coach Nunley is sick. So he walks up to me, he goes, hey, said, you ready to take practice? I'm like, yeah, Coach, let's go. So I had to go out there and conduct like 3 practices with like the D-line out there. And they out there like, yeah, we black cars, baby, let's go. I'm like, you goddamn right, we're black, we're gonna go to work. But that was fun. But then, Follow always kept in contact with Coach Phillips. And then when he left the Rams, I knew this was his hometown, and he lives close. And then Coach would just come by during the COVID times and spend time with us. And we just talk ball, and he would come in and, talk to our staff. And Coach Bloom opened up the door for him, and him and Coach had, they have a great relationship as well. And Brian, and we just talk ball, man. Just hearing the stories. His father created the alignment tree for defensive line. With the 0 and the shade and the 2-eye and the 2. Like, that's like big time stuff. But he's such a humble guy, and he's a great friend of mine. I actually texted him today because I know he's about to start up in that new league. But I love Wade. I love him. He's a good dude.
Hey, some of you, I want to get our sales folks to sell a whole hour so we could do this together. But we ran out of time. But I always love talking to you. Thanks for the wisdom, and you're always nice to me, and appreciate you. Keep it going, all right?
Keep working. I'll see you in the hotel room.
Yeah. We'll talk about that off air. Yeah, he was motivating me. Some extra motivation from Coach Calhoun. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Coach Bloomgren back will preview these Louisiana Tech Bulldogs coming up. This is the Mike Bloomgren Show from Acme Oyster House from Learfield.
Owls fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. So whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit any of our 40-plus Houston area locations or thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Rice University Athletics. Howdy Homemade Ice Cream is here. Howdy is an ice cream shop in Katy, Texas that makes ice cream in-house and has a unique mission to employ individuals that are differently abled. Stop by and enjoy some ice cream. With every scoop you buy, you help support employment for special needs. Coming to Rice Athletics venues in the fall.
Hey, Oscar, wake up. Hi, this is Otis and Oscar. We're talking spokes oysters for Acme Oyster House. You've probably seen us on TV. My friend Oscar is sleeping. You know, we oysters like our pets. Anyway, drop by tonight for a dozen raw, a dozen char grilled, a seafood platter or po' boy, and maybe a few laughs. Come Acme, bro. Not you. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood.
Hey, it's JP here to tell you that, yes, there's more Rice Owls content out there for you to consume. Subscribe and download the official podcast of Rice Athletics, Rice Owls Insider. Rice Owls Insider provides a unique new look at a variety of head coaches, players, and other integral voices inside the Rice Athletics department. Plus, you can find archive coaches shows as well. For the best in Rice Owls content, subscribe to Rice Owls Insider, the official podcast of Rice Athletics. Available on Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
This is the Mike Bloomgren Show, live at Acme Oyster House. Here again, the voice of the Owls, JP Heath.
Get a lot of props on the comments and whatnot for Coach Calhoun and the players. Now back with Dunleavy family head football coach for Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren. I wish there was enough time in the day to talk about the winding path you have with Coach Calhoun. But the one thing that I always remember, you told me you're out in California. He's like, "Hey, Sid, what are you doing?" And like, a day later, he was out, and like y'all were near a hot tub or something. Remember that with?
Yeah. So there's a lot of stories like that with me and Coach Calhoun, but like,
just flew across the country just to hang out a bit.
So it was actually, he was in California.
He was, okay.
And Coach Mason and myself were in Florida.
Okay,
Derek Mason.
okay.
And you know, like we're kind of family, and it was one of those things. I can't even remember what the incident was, but there was something where like, "Hey man, said it would be great if you were here." And like, he was on a red eye, and he was there the next morning, and it meant the world to Derek and me too that he came the way he did.
All right, let's talk about these Bulldogs and what Coach Gumpy's doing. Over 500 yards of offense. They lost at North Texas, but even though Coach Holtz left, a guy that you grew very fond of, and y'all were tight, they're always going to be able to spin that football, it seems, and have great skill guys.
Yeah, they are. You know, and you know, Coach Gumpy brought a quarterback with him from TCU that was a big-time recruit in Parker McNeil, and he's throwing the heck out of it. You know, he's a really talented kid, and he's throwing it to the two Harris brothers, which are not related, you know, when you talk about Trey Harris and Smoke Harris. Yeah. But they're equally talented and can affect the football game. We got to do a good job getting the pressure on him. We've got to, like, get these guys home and putting hits on Parker so that he can't be comfortable back there and deliver balls to the Harris brothers, if you will.
So they're top 20 in the nation passing offense in the country. 3 of the top 20 I saw were in Conference USA, but something about that water in Ruston, they can get those quarterbacks, and they have that system. Is his system like as air raidy as you'd expect a guy with his Lubbock roots and ties to Coach Leach? Or
I feel like it is, yeah. Like it is certainly air raid when you watch it. The concepts are, you see Y cross, you see the 4 vertical stuff, and you see the run game. Now, there's a little bit more to it than maybe a Mike Leach early on. You know, Sonny's grown, and I think he does a great job planning it. But you know what? Like, nothing is effective when the quarterback's on his back. And, again, like, that is our challenge right now. And, you know, what better guys to have here than those two? And And certainly when the running back gets a chance to get going, when Marquise Crosby gets a chance to get going, like Myron's going to be chasing him down. The D-line's going to be doing a great job. And that's what's always going to give us a chance to meet our goals, right? And as this offense continues to grow and get better and better, it's going to be better next week than it was last week. And that's going to be awesome. That's going to give us a chance to win this game because I think I've said it to you before, but the only team that I believe that can beat the Rice Owls is the Rice Owls. And we got to make sure we don't do that. We got to have a great week of prep, and we got to go into Ruston and take advantage of this opportunity.
All right, we'll be talking to you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Coach. Dunleavy family, football coach for Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren. Thanks to Ashley back in the studio, Walter here, and everybody for coming out. Big Sexy, Blake Vanish, Myron Morrison, and Cedric Calhoun. Appreciate y'all. Have a great night. God bless. Go Owls. Rice Fight. We'll be talking to you from Ruston Saturday. This has been the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.